Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, Kaduk secured his legacy in our tribe by giving us a baby with both of those big mammoth feet. She looks like a little tank, even more than he does. She doesn't have the big body like him, but she does have the most adorable little Bearyenas ears. She looks so cute, and I think she's going to make an excellent addition to our tribe. It's kind of funny because her strength is pretty low, but her defense is high enough that she should be able to withstand quite a few attacks. That's the beauty of the mammoth feet, I guess. Not only do they help us with cold resistance, but they're also pretty sturdy in battle. So I asked you guys for suggestions for a name, and quite a few of you suggested the name Atalanta. Atalanta was a figure in Greek mythology, and based on the little bit of research that I did on her, it sounds like she was a great huntress and a very strong-willed lady. I believe it was said that she was even raised by bears, which I thought was super cute since she does have the Bearyenas ears. Her aunt is also just about to start a family with our resident Bearyena, so I wonder if perhaps she'll spend a little bit more time with that side of the family when she grows. Especially with her father just about to pass. I think it's very unlikely that Kaduk is going to make it through the night, but with his illness and everything. I wonder if she would even take it upon herself to protect their healers in the future? I mean, creatures like Dusksoul, who are working so very hard to keep this sickness at bay, they're some of our most treasured tribe mates, and they need to be kept safe. Maybe part of her is going to resent that she was never able to truly know her father, so she's going to want to protect the healers so no other little babies will feel that too. But unfortunately, everybody is a little bit too tired to move around today over there, so let's head back to our oracles. Now, I'm thinking, even though Frost Howl's visions are pretty muddy right now, they're very clouded and he hasn't had a true vision in a while, even he would be able to feel the warmth of the sun, the same thing that so often tells our oracles that their families are about to grow. Maybe with that warmth humming in his chest, humming in his gemstones, he would hope that their next baby would be the one to truly banish this curse. They've already had 2 promising starts, Daydream of course, and Spark too. Both of them are oracles just like their father, so they should be able to help out quite a bit. In fact, we're hoping that Daydream is going to be able to take care of all of these poisoned food sources once she grows up and she can help Frostbite a bit more. For now though, she's just going to laze around on the tall grass, probably roll around and bat at her brother's antennas. And then we'll have Shine go ahead and breed again with Frost Howl, and we'll see if their luck can stick around for one more baby. Ever since that Bearyena attack, things have been strangely quiet underneath the oak tree. Hopefully that's not going to change today. I wonder if it's just because we have so many oracles doing their work here now, and Frostbite too. He's been trying his best to keep up with all the roots that he finds, but I want him to stick right here next to the poison berries, because of course right now these are his focus. One thing that I found kind of interesting, and that I would like to explore in the future, is that Adam's family could actually be known for eating those poison food sources. They're some of the only creatures who could eat from the poison berry bushes without harming themselves, so I wonder what the rest of the tribe would think. Especially the oracles, if they see Adam's family, our own bluebird leader, picking up that cursed food like it was nothing. Would they wonder if perhaps their leaders are cursed too? It's definitely something for us to explore in the future. For now though, I think that Salami is going to spend some more time with her newest baby. We might as well have Nukier start moving off this way. I was thinking he would probably try to track down the bunnies. He would be pretty good at hunting them down, and I'm sure that Spell would love to go on an adventure with him too. His father, or at least who he assumes is his father, really wants him to do some fishing in the stream. But to be honest, Spell just has no interest, and Doubloon can't really figure out why. This is what their family is known for after all, collecting the resources from the streams and the oceans. So why on earth does Spell have no interest in that part of their heritage? And for that matter, how can he make him understand? But the babies are perhaps a little bit too adventurous for their own good, and by the time their parents notice that they've toddled off, they're probably going to be long gone. We'll bring Spell right down here, and hopefully he'll be able to keep himself warm. Now, as much as Spell may love the bunnies, he's not quite as good at pouncing on them. He won't be able to take them down in one swipe, but we can have him stand right on top of the stump. That way he should be able to see them a little bit more easily. And of course, the bunnies are also leading him straight toward his true father, who's spending more time with the Dodamingos than he planned. I wonder if maybe he just can't find his way back? I mean, look at all of this darkness. The gills, I believe, have no smelling powers whatsoever, so when he tries to sniff around in the tall grass, this is all he sees, just an endless void. He can hear a little bit better, but it's still not quite enough to lead him back to his family, so I feel like he is a little bit confused right now, and that's probably why it's taking him so long to get back. Go ahead and collect the meat, though, and then maybe we could have you call out on the stumps again? Maybe this time it's actually a song for his family, and while Mary might not be able to hear, Spell is probably close enough that he would be able to notice that song in the grasses, so maybe these two are going to cross paths after all. Honestly, if Mary could hear that, she would probably be very, very startled. She's out here trying to take care of the bunnies, so nobody does what her son is doing right now. She doesn't want anybody to follow the bunnies to mimic. And for good reason too. Look at all these little critters hopping around. She still remembers hearing them over here though, right by the bunny burrows. So she's probably frantically searching for them right now. Maybe she'll dig up all these roots as if she's looking for the burrows themselves. There's one right there. Okay, Mary, jump on top of your stump. She's too tired after all that digging to actually take it down, but she's still going to try her hardest. She's probably running herself ragged with this mission. Sunflower must be pretty confused, maybe a little bit worried about the health of his sister. I suppose we could bring him over here to take down one of these bunnies, but she'd probably end up shooing him away on the next turn. She doesn't want anybody else to get too close to where Mimic ran off to. It looks like Salami has a root over here that she could try to dig up as well. Maybe as a little lesson to her son. He might not have the digging palm, so he won't be able to become one of the true gravediggers, but she probably wants to share that story with him. It's a very common theme in Adam's family to set the souls of their tribe mates to rest, and she wants to make sure that her kids understand that very well too. I think that Anarim is probably going to leave this bunny meat behind. We'll have Salami pick it up on the next turn, and instead, Anarim, you can start making your way down the stream again, toward that strange pull that you feel toward the other families. She does have the influence of the oracles in her as well, so I feel like she would be drawn in this direction. Maybe even drawn straight toward the cursed oak tree. But these creatures are a bit closer, so I think she's getting curious. We should be ready to skip the day though. So that means we're going to see the birth of 2 more babies, I believe. One beneath the oak tree and one with our new Bearyena family. Let's see if we're going to get lucky with Aura. Are we going to have the beautiful Bearyena snout? Oh my gosh. Oh, our very first time seeing the Bearyena snout in this tribe. And it's almost as if Kaduk passed away from the shock of it. It kind of makes sense too, since he was a little bit wary of the Bearyenas. But gosh, she is so pretty. She has so many Bearyena genes. I think this might be the most Bearyena genetics we've seen on any of our babies ever in our tribes. The Bearyena snout, the Bearyena ears, the Bearyena claw, and the Bearyena hind legs. Now the only problem is, I think she's going to be super slow. Unfortunately, the Velvet Paw doesn't give them any boost in speed, so she might actually only be able to move 1 tile, and that is going to be a bit of a bummer. It is going to take her a long time to lumber around this island. Still though, she is quite the powerhouse, so we'll just have to make sure that we set her up in a good location. Maybe even at our safe haven, to make sure everybody can make it to the port safely. I think we will want to alter Aura's mutation menu though, and we'll do that on the next turn. But first, let's go ahead and name their daughter. I think we'll go ahead and name her Catnip. Not only to represent her mother's purse now, so those cat genes in her family tree, but I think that nip at the end really fits her appearance quite well. She does look rather menacing, and it's probably going to be hard for many of our creatures to trust her at first if they don't already know about the friendly Bearyenas. That would be a good reason for Aura to continue making those flower crowns. I guess she'll have to decorate all of her babies with those, especially the ones with the Bearyena snout. It's good to see that our friendly Bearyena stuck around this time though. I guess he's very eager to get to know his little daughter. But yeah, before we forget, I definitely want to make sure that we place the runner's leg into one of Aura's slots. I think that'll make it easier for her kids to get around. So hopefully she'll pass that over any of her velvet paws. That wasn't something that I considered when we started their family together, but it's a good thing that they're so close to those ports because goodness knows Catnip is going to need it. It is going to take her days and days to get over here as it is. And thank goodness, it looks like all of our healing fruits have grown back too. Oh, just in time, Dusk Soul, you must be so happy to see this. Now you can finally heal the sick children again. That damage is really starting to pile up, and after Kaduk's passing, you can't be too careful. I'm sure that with some of his final breaths, he probably told his family and Dusk Soul about the second healing fruit too. So I think that's where Dusk Soul is going to try to send his family next. But first, I think Chestnut should probably take this healing fruit. He definitely has a lot more damage on him than Gold's, because I believe Gold had the last healing fruit before. Maybe we could have him go after this bunny though, just as something. Oh my goodness, something to feed to Dusk Soul? Oh, there are tons of bunnies out here, stealing from all of those berry bushes, of course. Always go toward the berry bushes if you want to find the bunnies. Yeah, I feel like he could probably use some extra food, and I know that Gold has noticed. I mean, Dusk Soul has been running himself ragged too. That's partially because of all of those strange noises he's heard, on top of just trying to keep everybody in the tribe healthy. So as he consults with his sister, and tells her that he wants them to go down the shore, following the Bearyena's shadow, and they should be able to reach the healing fruit. He's going to stray a little bit into the mountains, just to get a little bit of that cool mountain air. Why is there meat over here? Is that something that our friendly Bearyena left behind? That is awfully suspicious. Oh, Dusk Soul, no wonder you think you're going crazy. He probably thinks that the ghost of the mountains left this for him. I mean, I guess he wouldn't be that far off the mark. Anarim did do a little bit of hunting before she left, but this would be a great opportunity for them to cross paths. And while he doesn't know it, he's meeting the true mountain ghost right now, with the way she blends in with her scenery too, with that beautiful gray fur. I wonder if he even thinks that she's real. Maybe he thinks that he's hallucinating this beautiful spirit before him, just worn down from the exhaustion of performing his doctor's role. She's getting awfully cold up here in the mountains though, so there is the good possibility that he's going to have to warm her up before the day is done. Now Aura, let's bring you over here so you can clear out a little bit more of this grass. I think she would want to make sure that her baby has plenty of room to play, and I'm still a little bit cautious about bringing them into the Oracle's territory. Something tells me that that would not go very well. In fact, just in case, Aura, let's have you breed again with our friendly Bearyena. That way we know that we'll have another baby for you to have. But we'll have to wait until we can build another nest on the next turn. Now it looks like Daydream has her second gem, so maybe she could do a little bit of experimenting with these poison berry bushes. In fact, let's bring her over here, because it looks like she has 2 of them to swipe down. Frostbite has tried many times to purify these himself, but he just doesn't have the Oracle's touch. With Daydream being so young, I'm sure she doesn't even fully realize what she's doing here. She just knows that it needs to be done. Maybe she can sense the darkness in those branches. And I just realized... oh my gosh, do we have Spark's little twin in the nest? He looks exactly like his big brother. The only difference is the eyes. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice. Honestly, I thought that was Spark because he looks so much like him. That is so funny. They are actually twins. Is this what Frostowl saw when he felt the sun's warmth? Well, I feel like we have to give him a name that would relate to his brothers then. Maybe we'll call this little baby Ember. So Ember and Spark might be the two to ignite the curse of the Safe Havens, and hopefully they'll bring a spark back to the Oracle's prophecies again too. Maybe when the twins work together, it makes their visions stronger. So I wonder if now that his twin has been born, if Spark can feel a bit of a pull in a different direction. I'm wondering if maybe he can sense that the true heir is about to be born way up in the mountains. Maybe they even need to see this themselves. Maybe that would help us bless their babies with the stripes, which is the only thing that Salami is waiting for to pass down those bluebird feathers to. So as we give to Nunu his first gem, and as he maybe plays around with the roots as well, we'll have to bring Salami back into the grasslands, and I think we're going to have to bring Sunflower back to our side too. So it's all well and good for you, Marigold. He has a family to take care of now. Guess he doesn't have time to play around with silly bunnies. Or more appropriately, I guess all the silly bunnies are back over here instead. He knows where to go if he wants to feed his family. Oh yeah, we still have this meat over here too? Well, hop on top of the stump and we'll have you pick it up in the next turn. I think that Salami was warmed up enough that we won't have to worry about her freezing. Fingers crossed anyways. Now, Frostbite. With this new knowledge, this new power that Daydream seems to possess, I bet you're very, very excited. We'll have to have you guide her to all of the other poison berry bushes, but first let's focus on this one that she's next to. We'll have you clear out the grass around it, which should help us with our work on the ports as well. And I think I also saw that there are quite a few roots out here too. Ooh, leading you straight toward Aura's family? Interesting. I wonder if you two are going to uncover the Bearyenas' forbidden family then. Unfortunately for Frostowl, he's just about to pass away, and I don't think he would want to waste that healing fruit on his one day of damage. He's probably a little bit stubborn, maybe a little bit too proud. He doesn't want to admit to Shine that he's slowing down, and I think he'd rather just pass peacefully right by her side. So go ahead and collect those last couple of berries. Those delicious frozen berries that your family loves so much. Then I guess we'll have you pack away the nest. And then we'll bring Shine over to the side so she can grab them all. Okay. I didn't even realize it was there. Maybe we do need to explore this darkness a little bit more. Ooh, look at this. I think Anarim should be able to scoop up one more bunny. She's probably offering it up to Dusk Soul because he looks so tired. So she's hoping this will help restore his energy. If only we had the hot springs on this island, we could have her brew up some bunny stew. That would probably work too, some comfort food like chicken noodle soup. Now, I think you have certainly caught your son's attention. Let's have Nukier scoot his way into the grasses. Oh, he's getting so cold. I wonder if Spell is starting to panic then. Oh! No need to panic, Spell. No need at all? Wait a second, who's actually smelling that? Is that you, Nukier? It must be, but I thought they only had 1 tile's worth of smelling on them? Huh. Guess you're a better tracker than we thought. Well, I think Spell is still pretty worried, despite you chattering about some healing fruit in the darkness. We'll bring him into the grasses too, probably mimicking the sounds that he heard from Mimic on top of the stump. I feel like these two would probably share that quality. They both know how to mimic sounds down to the tiniest detail. That would surely surprise Mimic, and after clearing out the grasses right here so he doesn't lose his throne, we'll have him hopefully scoot his way around the Dodomingo. Really, little guy, now you're going to block Mimic in. Oh my gosh, and he had just moved too. Maybe he's going to have to make his way around the berry bush then? I suppose that would be a quieter way to see who's lurking about the darkness. He can peer through the tall grasses. It's not as though he could smell them, so he's just going to have to rely on sound and sight. We'll bring Spell over here, and the two will see each other from opposite sides of the healing fruit. I wonder if Mimic would recognize him after he's grown so much. Now, Doubloon, it looks like all of your fish have unfortunately swam away. So as you make your way toward the other stream, we'll have you pass by Mary, and maybe you would be the one to notice that your son appears to be missing. She's been so caught up with her bunny hunting mission that she hadn't even noticed. And now I'm sure she is in full panic mode. Where on earth could that pesky son of hers possibly have run off to? Surely he's not venturing off into the darkness, the same thing that she forbid him to do when he was very, very young. She would be furious if she knew where he was right now. I do see that tantalizing root off in the darkness. I wonder if maybe she's hoping that there's more bunnies out there then. But that'll bring her so close to Mimic's territory. I don't know if she'd be able to do it. She's probably more afraid that Doubloon is going to follow her, and she really doesn't want them to cross paths again. That cannot end well. So instead, Mary, let's have you lead Doubloon over this way again, and we'll see if you two can hunt down some bunnies together right around the bunny burrow itself. She's probably trying her best to play it cool. Like, don't worry, I'm sure Spell will come back soon. Let's just make some lunch for him. But while I'm sure she thinks she's good at hiding all of her stress, she probably looks like she's about to pop or something. So we should be ready to skip the day again. I think everybody is all tired out. And this time we don't have any babies to watch, so let's scoot on back over to our friendly Bearyena. I'm curious if maybe he's going to move on now that his child is growing. It looks like he's still rather smitten with her. Probably because she only has her first gem. I can't wait until he does move again though. I feel like Catnip would trail right in his shadow. Maybe he would even teach her how to hunt. But for now, let's have Catnip scoot on over here, so Aura should be able to settle down right inside this nest again. We'll have them have their next baby on the next turn. Now, Atalanta, we do need to give you your gems too. I guess we'll go with your mother's gems of pink. And now that her father has passed, she's had plenty of time to mourn. She knows it's going to be her job to keep the healers safe now. Unfortunately for her, Dusk Soul is not an easy critter to track down, and he's having his own problems up here in the mountains. So as he tentatively picks at that bunny meat that she caught for him, he's going to notice that she seems to be completely frozen solid. Now even the clovers have helped keep her warm, and now she can hardly move at all. Dusk Soul, of course, would probably be furious with this creature. He seems to me like somebody who can be a bit ill-tempered, but he always does mean well. He has a grumpy exterior, but it's just hiding a very warm heart underneath. So we'll have him warm her up, and then I guess she can go ahead and catch him another meal, just as a way to say thanks. But you guys are definitely going to have to make your way to some safer territory. Atalanta is simply not going to let this stand. In fact, let's bring her out into the mountains. We'll bring her over here to track him down. That way she can stand between them and keep them both warm with those big mammoth feet of hers. She looks so silly compared to our other tribe mates, but I love her for it. She is our beautiful, beautiful tank. Now Gold, go ahead and pick up your meat too. That was supposed to be a gift for Dusk Soul, wasn't it? Well, I'm sorry to say, you might be getting replaced right now as Anarim takes over with the hunting. I guess that's probably all well and good. These two little platypus beaks need to make a name for themselves after all. And I have noticed that Chestnut is starting to get a little bit cold. So maybe Gold would ask that he hurries down the shore, finds somewhere safer to settle down, and of course tries to seek out the healing fruit that they're traveling toward next. So Chestnut, let's bring you over here. Oh, I wonder if you would take a quick stop at the berry bush though. There are plenty of berries for him to scoop up with those nimble fingers of his. So maybe Dawn Soul could stay here for a moment just to keep him warm. I guess once they do finally make their way to the oak tree, they can consult with Frostbite about finding a place to bury Gaduk, an official place to bury him at least. It would be nice for his remains to return to this oak tree anyways. This was where we found him in the glacier, so I feel like this is truly his home. Now, Frostbite, right now, after we have Daydream knock down some more of those poison berries. Okay, that's a little bit worrying. Is this our very first piranha of the island? We've had some leech situations, but I don't think we've seen the piranha yet. Oh no, Frostbite, that can't be good. So So as we start making our way into the darkness, we're gonna have to make sure that we stay away from the shore. Maybe that's something that Daydream herself would remind you of. She would pull him away from the beaches as he starts to leave, because she knows only trouble is waiting for them there. Oh, and of course, we need a place to bury Frost Owl too. Oh, we can't forget about him. Frost Owl, in a way, was kind of like a mentor to Frostbite. It's kind of fitting because their names are so similar too. So we'll make sure that Frostbite sets him to rest somewhere around here as well, because I know that he would definitely not want his mentor to get stuck on this island. That's going to have to be one of his top priorities. Now, meanwhile, our two little twins are going to be setting off in a different direction. We'll bring Spark right up here. That way he should be able to light up the way for his little brother. And I guess we'll have Shine just stay in the area, clearing out the grasses, continuing the work that her mate has left for her. We might not be ready just yet for Salami to have her next child, but we can at least bring her over here so she can breed again with Sunflower. He has plenty of meat to scoop up, plenty of food to go around to all of his little babies, and Tanunu is still trying his hardest to claw up this root in the ground. I think you may have set an impossible task for him, Salami. Hopefully you have a backup plan in mind, because I don't think he's going to leave that alone anytime soon. Actually, maybe Marigold could help? If she could put aside her worries for a little bit. Maybe Doubloon would even send her over there? If he notices that the little baby is struggling, and he wants a way to calm her down, he'll say, maybe you should take a break, Mary. Go over there and dig up some roots for the babies, give them a couple of pointers, and I'll take care of the bunnies for now. It might not really be his ideal source of food, but if it's going to make Mary happy, he's willing to go chasing after those tiny little morsels. Oh, and look at this doubloon. It looks like they've devoured every last one of your frozen berries here. I wonder if he's even feeling a little bit nostalgic. This was about the area where he was born, and it was the last place where he ever saw his mother. So as a way to honor Trinket's memory, maybe he would try to pick up some of those berries, but of course with his double claws, all he's really going to end up doing is knocking down the berry bush entirely. Now I think we should just be left with our sneaky little bandits way off in the tall grass. And thank goodness it looks like Nukir is okay. Not for long though, and I'm sure that Spell realizes it. So we'll have him pull Nukir into the tall grass. As the Dodamingos follow. Are you looking for your friend Mimic? Well, he's a bit busy at the moment. He hardly has time to waste with all of these bunnies. I guess because it's so hard for him to get around, we'll have him go ahead and claw up this berry bush too. Oh no, he doesn't have a high enough attack. That's a bit unfortunate. I was hoping that he could just carve a pathway straight over to the kids, but I guess that's not going to work out. Maybe we could have Spell guide him over here then? He doesn't even realize how connected they are, but now that they're face to face... Yeah, do you think they would recognize each other? I mean, I'm sure that Mimic would. Spell even almost has the same little trident that Mimic is wearing. I'm sure that he remembers those very distinct markings too, that look so much like his brother. So he would definitely be the one to call Spell his son. But I think that would only confuse Spell. For all Spell knows, Doubloon is his true father. So who is this strange creature who looks nothing like him to tell him that he is related at all? Well, one last time before we end out the episode, we'll have Doubloon clear out a little bit of grass and then we'll go ahead and skip the day. Let's go straight over to Aura's next baby, because I'm very curious to see if it'll have another Bearyenas now. And of course, if hopefully it'll have the running leg instead of the velvet paw. Oh no, the sickness is spreading. That's what I was worried about. So I guess the H-immunity gene is in the Bearyenas genetics. Oh, that is such a bummer. Dusk Soul is going to be furious to hear that the sickness is still spreading. I don't think Adam's tribe has ever seen a sickness quite like this before. So it must be a little bit worrying. Maybe they're starting to wonder if this is their ancestors' way of punishing them. But at least this baby does have the runner's leg, so he should be able to move faster than his sister. And with that beautiful pale coat, I think we're going to name this baby Snowstorm. So in the next episode, as our oracles make their way toward the leader's nest, we'll see if this is finally the moment when their next heir is going to be born. Especially with the bluebird in our skies. Oh, there is no more fitting time for a bluebird leader to join our ranks once more. Though it is awfully interested in the happenings around Mimic and his family. I wonder what the reason for that could be. Is it perhaps trying to draw our creatures back to the kids? Or is it trying to remind Marigold of Mimic again? The ancestors are never pleased, after all, when family is abandoned like this, so they must be trying to draw the tribe together once more. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!